We learn nothing from history except that we learn nothing from history. Times are bad. Children no longer obey their parents, and everyone is writing a book. The wise are instructed by reason, average minds by experience, the stupid by necessity and the brute by instinct. Nothing is more unpredictable than the mob, nothing more obscure than public opinion, nothing more deceptive than the whole political system. More is lost by indecision than wrong decision. Indecision is the thief of opportunity. It will steal you blind. Any man can make mistakes, but only an idiot persists in his error. A nation can survive its fools and even the ambitious. But it cannot survive treason from within. An enemy at the gates is less formidable, for he is known and carries his banner openly. But the traitor moves amongst those within the gate freely, his sly whispers rustling through all the alleys, heard in the very halls of government itself. Six mistakes mankind keeps making century after century, believing that personal gain is made by crushing others, worrying about things that cannot be changed or corrected, insisting that a thing is impossible because we cannot accomplish it, refusing to set aside trivial preferences, neglecting development and refinement of the mind, attempting to compel others to believe and live as we do. Do not blame Caesar, blame the people of Rome who have so enthusiastically acclaimed and adored him and rejoiced in their loss of freedom and danced in his path and gave him triumphal processions. Blame the people who hail him when he speaks in the forum of the new, wonderful good society which shall now be Rome, interpreted to mean more money, more ease, more security, more living fatly at the expense of the industrious. Politicians are not born, they are excreted. When a government becomes powerful it is destructive, extravagant and violent. It is an usurer which takes bread from innocent mouths and deprives honorable men of their substance, for votes with which to perpetuate itself. Though liberty is established by law, we must be vigilant, for liberty to enslave us is always present under that very liberty. Our Constitution speaks of the general welfare of the people. Under that phrase all sorts of excesses can be employed by lusting tyrants to make us bondsmen. Never was a government that was not composed of liars, malefactors and thieves. To be ignorant of what occurred before you were born is to remain always a child. For what is the worth of human life, unless it is woven into the life of our ancestors by the records of history? A nation can survive its fools, even the ambitious. But it cannot survive treason from within, for the traitor appears not to be a traitor, he rots the soul of a nation, he infects the body politic so that it can no longer resist. If we are forced, at every hour, to watch or listen to horrible events, this constant stream of ghastly impressions will deprive even the most delicate among us of all respect for humanity. Poor is the nation that has no heroes, but poorer still is the nation that having heroes, fails to remember and honor them. When you have no basis for an argument, abuse the plaintiff. People don't know the value of what they have until it is gone. Freedom suppressed and again regained bites with keener fangs than freedom never endangered. Liberty is rendered even more precious by the recollection of servitude. Don't wait till freedom is gone before you enjoy, value, support, protect and make the most of it. There exists a law, not written down anywhere but inborn in our hearts, a law which comes to us not by training or custom or reading but by derivation and absorption and adoption from nature itself, a law which has come to us not from theory but from practice, not by instruction but by natural intuition. I refer to the law which lays it down that, if our lives are endangered by plots or violence or armed robbers or enemies, any and every method of protecting ourselves is morally right. A nation can survive its fools, and even the ambitious. But it cannot survive treason from within. A bureaucrat is the most despicable of men, though he is needed as vultures are needed, but one hardly admires vultures whom bureaucrats so strangely resemble. I have yet to meet a bureaucrat who was not petty, dull, almost witless, crafty or stupid, an oppressor or a thief, a holder of little authority in which he delights, as a boy delights in possessing a vicious dog. Who can trust such creatures? The Jews belong to a dark and repulsive force. One knows how numerous this clique is, how they stick together and what power they exercise through their unions. They are a nation of rascals and deceivers. I have always been of the opinion that unpopularity earned by doing what is right is not unpopularity at all, but glory. What society does to its children, so will its children do to society. The first duty of man is the seeking after and the investigation of truth. Next to God we are nothing. To God we are everything. Please go on, make your threats. I don't like to submit to mere implication. I prefer tongue-tied knowledge to ignorant loquacity. It is the peculiar quality of a fool to perceive the faults of others and to forget his own. If you wish to persuade me, you must think my thoughts, feel my feelings, and speak my words. The budget should be balanced, the treasury refilled, public debt reduced, the arrogance of officialdom tempered and controlled, and the assistance to foreign lands curtailed, lest Rome become bankrupt. They who say that we should love our fellow citizens but not foreigners, destroy the universal brotherhood of mankind, with which benevolence and justice would perish forever. What is morally wrong can never be advantageous, even when it enables you to make some gain that you believe to be to your advantage. The mere act of believing that some wrongful course of action constitutes an advantage is pernicious. There are two ways to resolve conflicts, through violence or through negotiation. Violence is for wild beasts, negotiation is for human beings. To be content with what we possess is the greatest and most secure of riches. When money is unreasonably coveted, it is a disease of the mind which is called avarice. Vicious habits are so odious and degrading that they transform the individual who practices them into an incarnate demon. It is a man's own dishonesty, his crimes, his wickedness, and boldness, that takes away from him soundness of mind. These are the furies, these the flames, and firebrands, of the wicked. More laws, less justice. For out of such an ungoverned populace one is usually chosen as a leader, someone bold and unscrupulous who curries favor with a people by giving them other men's property. To such a man the protection of public office is given, and continually renewed. He emerges as a tyrant over the very people who raised him to power. Read at every weight, read at all hours, read within leisure, read in times of labor, read as one goes in, read as one goeth out. The task of the educated mind is simply put, read to lead. The life of the dead is placed on the memories of the living. The love you gave in life keeps people alive beyond their time. Anyone who is given love will always live on in another's heart. A man would have no pleasures in discovering all the beauties of the universe, even in heaven itself, unless he had a partner to whom he might communicate his joys.